Yo, what's good, gang? This is the Dope Guy, and I am back with another video, big dog. Yo, I hope you guys are all doing well out there because I'm doing alright. Here I am, spinning the block with content for y'all, man, on my soul. Hey, yo, today's video is the top 10 words we should steal from Germany. Yo, well, it says Germany, but I would assume it's Germany, but hey, it is what it is. But shout out to all my people in Germany. What's up? Respect to y'all, man. Y'all already know the vibe. Shout out to Rob Words. Make sure you go subscribe to his channel first and foremost. You're gonna learn about the words that we should have that people say, that people in Germany say often. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure a word I think that's German that I heard before is like doppelganger. You know what I'm saying? I learned that years ago. I think I learned about doppelganger in college. It's like a little twin, a lookalike. You know what I'm saying? That's what that means. And I just can't wait to learn about more words, man. And you know, just tap in and see what we gonna find out. But before we do that, subscribe to the Dope Guy, the way to get notifications every time I upload. And from right here on Snapchat and Instagram right across the bottom screen. So that being said, I'm not gonna hold y'all much longer because y'all already know. Let's go, big dog. Let's get into it. Yes, sir.
Wanderlust, Schadenfreude, Doppelgänger,
Yep.
Zeitgeist. English speakers have occasionally turned to German to help fill gaps in our language. German just has this way of expressing in one word what would normally take us, I don't know, 3. But these ones are just the tip of the iceberg of what dear old Deutsch has to offer. So let's dive below the surface. Here are my top 10 untranslatable German words that English should steal. Los geht's. Let's go.
Let's tap
So
in.
first on my list, at number 10, is the shortest and the sweetest. It's Jein.
Jein.
So you know the German for yes is Ja,
Ja,
and
okay.
the German for no is Nein.
9. I
Well,
know
if you
that.
smoosh them together, you get
Oh.
Jein. And it means exactly what it sounds like, a mix between yes and
no.
no. It is the perfect word for when you
Indecisive.
could go either way.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, would you like another of these salt-filled, cheese-covered pretzels? Jein. They are delicious, but I'd also like to not have a heart attack in my 30s. It's a yes, but also a no.
I
Right.
feel like it also kind of reflects this like middle of the road attitude that a lot of Germans have.
That's my pal Marie, a real-life German. She's going to help me explain a few of these.
For me, it would be if somebody would ask me, "Are you looking forward to your next work week?" I'd go, "Jein."
Jein.
Some things that will be fun, but
Yeah.
there's also stuff I'm not excited about.
The word was popularised in the 1990s by Hamburg hip-hop outfit Fetters Brot and their somewhat humorous song, Jein. In it, a guy is faced with a series of dilemmas, such as whether or not he should cheat on his girlfriend who's gone on holiday without him.
Damn.
When he gets a tempting offer from another woman, he says, the reason Jein is only at number 10 on this list is that we might be better off coming up with our own yes-no hybrids. I mean, Swedish has done, and I bet there are others. So, how about yo? No, that's already taken. Ness? What do you think? Is that one any good? Jein. So
Jein.
number 9, the next German word that I think we should slot into the English language is Kummerspeck.
Kummerspeck.
Now, we
I
can
heard of
actually
that word.
break this one down into 2 parts.
I've
Kummer,
heard of that
meaning
word.
sorrow or grief, and Speck, meaning bacon.
Oh.
Kummerspeck is that little bit of extra timber you may have taken on when you've turned to
Oh, shit.
good lady gluttony for solace. This is the result of comfort eating, basically.
Exactly. So I would say probably the most common example is if somebody just went through a breakup or through another sad event in their life, and then they gain a little bit of weight because they maybe spend more time in bed, more time eating junk
That's
food.
so dramatic.
And then they usually, once they reappear into society, will say, "Oh, ich weiß, ich habe Kummerspeck zugelegt."
Kummerspeck.
Or they'll
I've heard of that
yeah,
word.
Kummerspeck.
We've all done it, right? I mean, who can honestly say that they've never sought solace in the bottom of a tub of Ben and Jerry's? But how exactly do you explain your temporarily inflated state? No English word is going to cut it. That's why, we need a
Kummerspeck.
helping of German grief bacon, we need the word Kummerspeck.
Kummerspeck.
Up next at number 8, it's Backpfeifengesicht. The German language
Hold
is
on. Backpfeifengesicht. Damn near perfect how I said it.
next at number 8,
Backpfeifen-
it's Backpfeifengesicht. The German
Backpfeifengesicht.
language is great for helping us describe some of the darker feelings that all humans experience at one time or another. The word Schadenfreude is such a gift because who hasn't taken pleasure in someone else's misfortune,
Damn.
even if the English lexicon likes to pretend that we haven't. Backpfeifengesicht is another word that isn't nice, but speaks to something that we have all experienced. We've all encountered someone with a Backpfeifengesicht. That is, a face that's just asking for a slap.
You would say, oh, der hat so ein Backpfeifengesicht. He has such a Backpfeifengesicht. He has such a slappable face.
As the
Damn.
band Die Ärzte melodically put it,
Du glaubst, dass dich jemand fragt, hörst du dich Backpfeifengesicht.
No.
It essentially kind of means that you have an irritating appearance or that you're ugly. It's not a
That's
kind
what I was
word.
thinking. I was thinking with the way they had my man up, like as if they was, he might be funny looking. Slappable face is crazy. Don't ever slap me. If you don't fight.
Backpfeife is a slap to the cheek, and Gesicht is just face. There's also another word, Ohrfeigengesicht. Ohrfeigen is, to box someone's ears. Backpfeifengesicht expresses in one word something that it would take English, 2 or 3. It's not higher up on the list, though, because, well, one, I'm not sure now's a great time to be introducing new insults to the English
Hell
language.
no.
And 2,
Yeah, enough of that.
it takes a fair bit of practice to get right, but once you've got it, it is enormously satisfying. Backpfeifengesicht. Number 7 is a rather more positive potential import into English. It's Sprachgefühl. Sprachgefühl literally means language
Sprachgefühl.
feeling, but its meaning as a whole is a little harder to express. But maybe that's because I myself do not have Sprachgefühl. Sprachgefühl is the intuitive ability to know the right words to say. Someone with Sprachgefühl always reaches for the perfect term or ideal idiom in any situation. I think in English we would maybe say that someone has a way with words, or they are erudite or eloquent. But Sprachgefühl is more versatile than those words, because you can also have a Sprachgefühl for a foreign language. I think we would perhaps call it having a feel for the language.
Okay.
If you just kind of have a knack for it, du hast ein gutes Sprachgefühl entwickelt. You developed a good Sprachgefühl for it. This word actually already has some currency in English, but you only find it in very highbrow usage. I'd like to see all of us get a little bit of Sprachgefühl. Now, if you want to develop your own Sprachgefühl for a foreign language, may I heartily recommend to you Babbel, who've sponsored this video. You don't need me to tell you how rewarding learning a language can be, not least because you can find all the quirky words it has that your mother tongue does not. And Babbel is one of the top language learning apps in the world, using intuitive lessons to help you learn a language through real-life conversations. I've been using it to learn Spanish, which I decided to do after a recent trip to the France-Spain border. On one side of the line I was fine, because I can kind of speak French, but on the other, perdido. With Babbel, you can set yourself a goal and it'll give you all of the tools you need to meet it, including live teaching sessions, podcasts, games, flashcards, and of course, lessons you can just do whenever and wherever you want. I found I can make fast progress with Babbel because you're very quickly learning sentences that you can actually use. Puedo comer prete? No. Babbel has a variety of different subscriptions, including a lifetime one, and you can get 60% off during Babbel's Black Friday sale using my special link in the description. There's a 20-day money-back guarantee too, so, what are we waiting for?
Right.
Vamos. Okay, back to our exploration of untranslatable German. And to our number 6, Sturmfrei.
Sturmfrei.
It breaks down into the words for storm and free, and it expresses the unique state of freedom that comes with being left alone in the house. Being able to do as you please without the usual storm of consequences. The best example would be if you're a teenager and your parents are out of town. You would have Sturmfrei. But it works for adults.
Freedom.
Like, for example, I could write my friend, hey, ich hab grad Sturmfrei, which would mean, hey, there's no one else here. Come over, we can party.
Ein Sturmfreies Bude, I've also heard, right, which is like a free house. By the way, German also has these two words specifically for when your partner, wife or husband, temporarily isn't around. They translate into straw widow and straw widower.
Okay.
Again, we're talking about situations that we've all been in at one time or another, but that English is currently ill-equipped to describe. That's why Sturmfrei has stormed its way onto my list of German words that we should steal. Okay, we're into the top 5.
Okay,
At
let's get it.
number 5, I give you Schnapsidee. Now we can simply
Schnapsidee.
translate this
Schnapsidee.
as Schnaps idea, with reference to Germany's hard liquor of choice. And it describes something that seemed like a good idea when you were drunk, but less so in the cold light of day.
If somebody says das war eine Schnapsidee, it usually means it didn't work out.
Would they be saying that it was literally an idea they had when they were drunk? Or could it be a bit like saying it was a pipe dream, it was never going to work out, I got carried away?
Exactly. It means I got carried away.
Schnapsidee isn't the only handy German term that comes served with a shot. There's also the doubly excellent word Schnapszahl, meaning
Schnapszahl.
Schnaps number.
Okay.
A Schnapszahl is a number
Schnapszahl.
like 11 or 33 or 55, one that gives you the impression that you're seeing double. How big a part of German culture is Schnapps?
Huge. So you'll have a schnapps while you're playing cards with your friends, or you'll have a schnapps after dinner. And when I have a stomach ache, my grandmother will be like, here's a shot of schnapps.
While we're talking German, Tipple, I simply have to introduce you to one of my favourite German words of all time, Wegbier.
Vague
You
beer.
can translate it as way beer,
Way
perhaps,
beer.
and it's the bottle of beer you buy, perhaps from one of Germany's famous late shops, to drink on your way somewhere else. Usually
Lit.
somewhere where you intend to drink even more of them. One of the best things about this country is that you can drink in the street and no one has a go at you. It's one of the few things they don't have a go at you for. Anyway,
Right.
Marie, any more boozy terms we could borrow?
One more important one related to beer is called Konterbier.
Counter beer.
So counter
beer.
And
Country beer?
essentially it's a beer to counter your hangover.
Counter.
It's the beer that you drink.
Wait. So she said a beer that you drink to counter your hangover. So in order to get over his hangover, or to keep from getting a hangover, you drink this specific beer. That is different. That's different.
Day after a heavy night of drinking when you're very hungover and you need a remedy, and so you have a small beer, and that's your Konterbier
Wow.
to counter your hangover.
That's crazy.
Fight fire with fire.
That
Clearly.
is perfect. Yeah, we have the phrase, the hair of the dog that bit you, which I think is a reference to an old rabies cure. And what's the best hair of the dog that you can get? It's an extra little beer, little Conter beer.
A little beer.
And I'm a little worried that
That's
all
crazy.
this talk of alcohol has knocked us a little bit off course. So let's get back to our top 10 German words that English should steal. And at number 4, it's Kopfkino. Now, this
Kopfkino.
literally means head cinema, and it is all about the power of your imagination. The theatre of the mind is something that you do occasionally hear in English. Right, but that's basically what this is, right? It's how things play out in your head.
Exactly. So it usually will be used if you're, for example, having a conversation with someone and they say something that evokes pretty vivid images for you mentally. So if my friend says, "Oh, I'm going to the Maldives tomorrow," and I'll be like, "Oh, Kopfkino," because I'll be like imagining her in the Maldives or imagining me in the Maldives, and I'll have this very vivid movie almost running through my mind.
Kopfkino expresses something simply beyond the word imagination. That's why German has both. And I think we should too. That's why it's at number 4. I just want to take a moment here to discuss why German is apparently so good at coining the right term for the right moment. Well, if you look back at the words we've discussed so far, a lot of them have something in common. They're essentially just compounds made up of 2 or 3 other German nouns that have been attached to one another, like train carriages. And this is what German speakers down the centuries have been most likely to do when they've needed a new term for something. Whereas in English, we've tended to look beyond our own language when we've needed a new word. We've either built a new one from Latin or Greek or borrowed one from another language. When the television came along, we named it using this unwieldy mix of Latin and Greek. Whereas in German, it was named using existing German terms. By the way, television
Fernseher.
and Fernseher,
Fernseher.
exactly the same thing.
Television?
It would be as if we'd called the TV the Farseer.
Farseer.
But there hasn't always been this difference in approaches between English and German. Old English, the language as it was being spoken up until around 1,000 years ago,
Right.
also built up words by slamming together other ones. A person's body was their bone house. And there's
Bone house.
this beautiful
I like
Old
that.
English word, uchtkeara, which meant dawn care or
Uchtkeara.
dawn sorrow. It's the angst that you get as you're lying in bed at night, a sensation that certainly did not die out with the Anglo-Saxons. In fact, maybe that's one word that we should also start using too. My point is, changes in the way that English works mean we've lost the ability to elegantly build up words in the way that German does. And that's why, in the cases that I've mentioned, we need German's help. Okay, let's
Word.
get back to it. We're into the top three.
Top three.
And at
Let's
number
get it.
3, it is Fernweh. So you know
Fernseher.
homesickness? Well, this is the precise opposite. Fern means far, like it does in Fernseher, and
Fernseher.
weh is
Fernweh.
sort of soreness. Fernweh is a yearning for faraway lands.
If I haven't taken a vacation in a long time, then I'll start feeling really fancy and start looking at Google Street View of Algeria or
That's
Spain
random as
or
hell.
wherever.
But actually,
That's so
it reminds
random.
me of another German word that we already have taken into our language, because I think this is the closest word to it in English, and that's people in English might pronounce it wanderlust, but
Heard of that.
wanderlust,
Wanderlust.
right?
Wanderlust.
Yeah.
The need to sort of get out there is what wanderlust is, right?
Yeah, in German it's love of hiking. I guess it's love of exploring. So
Okay.
I would use Wanderlust pretty literally if I'm going on a big hiking trip. Not just on your regular Sunday afternoon walk, but on a significant hiking trip. But Fernweh is something tied to a long journey, a big vacation.
Right.
So I wonder if maybe it'd be worth us substituting out Wanderlust and replacing it with Fernweh, because actually Fernweh kind of fits our definition of wanderlust a bit better than even wanderlust does.
We should try to establish that, yeah.
The campaign starts now. So German actually has Heimweh, homesickness, and Fernweh, away sickness, if you like. I suppose we could just start saying away sickness ourselves, but I recommend we take the rather more succinct Fernweh and add it to the English lexicon. It's looking for an excuse to travel anyway. Okay, we're up at the business end now, the top 2. And my number 2 German word that I think we should steal is Zugzwang. Zugzwang is used in those moments where circumstances have conspired to leave you with no choice but to act. When you're forced into taking a decision, you are in Zugzwang. The term actually comes from chess, where Zug means move and Zwang is force or compulsion. It's a point in the game where you are forced to make a particular move, even if it's going to harm your chances of winning the game. It's an enormously useful term that has rightly found usage well beyond the Game of Kings.
For example, if somebody really has to make a decision because it's the last minute, then you would say, oh, der ist unter Zugzwang. He's forced to act.
That is such a good word. I think this is one of the best examples we've got, because we experience people being in that position every day, or we find ourselves in that position maybe every day, and we don't have a word for it.
I think society would really benefit from having that term because it describes the human condition, human situation pretty well, and it helps maybe understand other people's actions better.
Okay.
Quite right. I realise that we have gone a little bit deep here, but anything that helps us to better relate to one another and comprehend each other's motivations is a good thing in my book. That's why Zugzwang is a worthy runner-up.
Zugzwang.
Okay, now it's time.
Number
the number one
Let's get
word
it.
that I think English should steal at the earliest possible opportunity. It's the word that fills every hard-working Helga or Heinrich's heart with a glee that, until now, we've had to live without.
Okay.
Ladies and
Let's tap
gentlemen,
in.
I give you Feierabend.
Feierabend.
So you know that bit of the day that you probably look forward to most? That bit after you finish work and before you go to bed. What do you call it? Well, let me stop you there, because you don't call it anything, because we don't have a word for it. But German does, and it is Feierabend.
Feierabend.
Feierabend is the post-work evening, but it's much more beautiful than that because it means basically it's cause for celebration.
Indeed,
For being off
Feierabend
work?
literally means celebration evening. It's
Okay.
a cause to celebrate every working day of the week. And who doesn't need that? Admittedly, the people you see blankly staring into middle distance on the train on the commute home don't appear to be in a particularly celebratory mood.
Man, they try to go home and go to bed.
That's maybe
Tired.
because they haven't picked up their Wegbier on
The
the way.
Wegbier, yeah.
I'm also not sure what this says about how much Germans enjoy their jobs. But usually, the end of the day working in a German office comes with a chorus of schönen Feierabend, have a great Feierabend, and I think we deserve that too.
Okay.
That's why Feierabend is
Feierabend.
top of my list
Like
of German words
Post-work
that
celebration,
I think
after work.
English should
Got you.
steal. So which was your favourite? Let me know in the comments. There are also plenty more where these came from. By the way, Treppenwitz,
Treppenwitz.
Honigkuchenpferd,
Oh, shit.
Sitzpinkler, which is
Sitzpinkler.
probably worth a whole video in itself. I'd welcome your suggestions for others. Next, check out my video about how to read German without actually being able to speak it, or this really
shit.
cool one that I just did all about dinosaurs. And I'll see you over there. Right. Feierabend.
Man, shout out to Rob's words, man. That was the top 10 words that we should steal from Germans, man. Shout out to all my people in Germany. Much love, respect to y'all, man. A few of them I have heard. Like Kumenspeck, I've heard that word for real. I just never knew what it meant. And I think it's one more word. But a lot of them words, I ain't think I would ever, I've never heard any of them words besides one or two. But, you know, man, son, shout out to all my people in Germany. Much love, respect. Shout out to Rob's words for giving us a breakdown. And I forgot the young lady's name just that fast for giving us definitions and, you know what I'm saying, other ways to form the words in the sentence. So shout out to her. And yeah, man, I was expecting words that we already use, like doppelganger or whatnot. That's a common word that we all use. That's probably one of the most common German words I've used before. So shout out to everybody out there in Germany. You know what I'm saying? If y'all got any words that y'all may know that we should have or we should know from y'all, let me know in the comments, man. You already know the vibes, for real. But yo, I hope you enjoyed the reaction to this video. If you enjoyed my reaction, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the Dope Guy Big Dog. Hit the notification bell whenever I upload. From right here on Snapchat and Instagram, right across the bottom screen. Any of the videos you may check out, please comment to this video, my other videos. Leave likes and comments on all my videos to help grow the channel, help with the algorithm for sure. Any more videos you may check out, leave a comment in the comment section below. Now I got you, I'm gonna spin the block. But yeah, man, it's the Dope Guy and I am out. Yes, sir.